All right, so this is my first Pacific Crest Trail video, which is obviously not starting on the Pacific Crest Trail. It's a week from my start date, and I'm feeling things. I was supposed to originally start on the 10th, not to out myself, but my permit date was for the 10th, which was yesterday. I started getting cold feet and I freaked out and I was worried I wasn't gonna have enough money, so I pushed it back a week, and I've been really upset with myself that I did that because I locked myself in, because I work for REI, which is a wonderful company to work for anyways if you're doing stuff like this. I mean, not only because you get the discounts, but I know so many of my people at work who have done, sections of the PCT. There's two other girls that I work with who are doing it this year. So those are both two wonderful things. Something else that's amazing is that I got approved to do a leave of absence for up to 6 months. So I really hope it's not going to take me longer than 6 months. It really shouldn't. But yeah, so I have a job to come back to, and that's all really amazing. But I told my boss definitively that my last day was going to be this next week. And so I kind of locked myself in. And I was kind of kicking myself, but things happen for a reason sometimes, or so we tell ourselves, in attempts to comfort our own decisions, and the happenings of the greater universe. But it ended up raining all day yesterday, and there's like tons of snow in Julian. And so maybe it was kind of for the best. I usually work for a ski resort doing snowboard and ski lessons, and we were gonna close next week. Usually we're open until Easter. We were gonna close mid-March, which was insane. So they got a couple more inches of snow, which is great, and I'm happy for them. But I'm also scared for me because now there's just, I don't know. I'm worried that there's going to be a lot of snow and a lot of bad weather for these first couple weeks, which is not necessarily the worst thing, right? Getting some water in those desert sections, getting some of those dry creeks flowing might be helpful, but I'm a little nervous. In good news, I did a shakedown hike of Scissors Crossing to Warner Springs, which is about mile 77 to mile 101. A couple weeks ago, about a month ago, I did that, about 33 miles. And I got the Thermarest quilt that we sell here at REI, and it just did not work. I froze the night when we had a night that it rained on my hike, and it didn't work. So I ended up ordering a Enlightened Equipment Enigma really late, and it was looking like I was gonna have to have someone hike it out to me in the Sierras, but it's shipped today, so I'm actually gonna be able to start my hike with my quilt. So that's really exciting. As far as leaving the rest of my life behind, like I'm really lucky. I just graduated college, so I have a bachelor's in history, but I still live with my parents, so I don't have rent to pay. They pay for, this is their car that I drive, so I don't have any car bills to pay for. They pay for my phone plan, so literally the only thing that I'm going to have to worry about on the trail is the present, and just trying to stretch out my savings as much as possible, and that'll be fine. And the stimulus is coming out in a little bit, so it should be pretty straightforward. My family is more or less supportive of it. I think they've gotten to the point where they've accepted that I'm doing it. It's just a matter of them. They're scared for me, which comes from a place of love and support. But they're also worried that in supporting me, they're enabling bad behavior, I guess, which isn't what it is. But I don't come from like the healthiest family environment. My family loves me and I love them, but getting them on board with this, I don't really think is gonna happen, and that's all right. I mean, that when you have situations like that, that's why it's so important to make sure you have, you know, external supports. And like, I want my family to support it, and I want them to be on board with it, but it is how it is. I have so many friends, especially here at REI, and my other regular life friends who are super supportive of the whole thing. And my boyfriend is a backpacker, so he understands, and he's gonna come do a section with me, and I have friends coming to do sections with me, and people doing trail magic for me, and people coming to visit me and sending me things, and I have a really good network, so I'll totally be okay. And once I get to Canada, my parents will probably be like, oh, that was a really cool thing you did, right? And it'll be sort of a thing in retrospect, or at least I tell myself anyways. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I've had my gear dialed in for over a month now. I was looking at my returns and my purchase history, and I've spent just about $2,500, a little bit more, because that's just including like my REI transactions, so that's not with my Enigma quilt, which was pricey, but it'll work out to be about $2,500 in gear, starting from the ground up. But yeah, I'm getting super antsy. I mean, I've been ready to go now for like the past like 2.5 weeks, just about. So it's just remembering I have 7 days left. I have 7 days exactly. So we'll see. I really want to be out there, and I just really want to be doing this thing. But that's where I am. That's the deal.